Nobody wants to be treated unfairly. This is why the students of Tamil Nadu College gather in front of the entrance to protest against the demolition of the college building. Sensing that the situation is getting out of hand, the police call the attention of the minister to address the students. The students continue their peaceful protest and ask the minister to leave. This pains the minister so much that he arranges for hoodlums to act as police and beat up all the protesters. The students run away to a secluded area, and the fake cops follow them, in hot pursuit. Little did they know that that secluded area was a no-go area. They meet Michael Bigil, the biggest don, who begs them to leave the same way they came. The fake cops refuse to heed this warning, and Michael drags the chain of a bicycle, just to wrap his right fist. From the leader to the least, he sends blows to their face and every part of their body, without giving them the chance to fight back. Finally, the cops arrive to leave the area to find their way out, and the students thank Michael for helping them. Meanwhile, Michael forces the minister to wave his hand at the students, promising them that the college building will not be demolished. This is accompanied by a threat from Michael and his gang, as they display a handful of weapons they intend to use if the minister fails to cooperate. Michael leaves victoriously as usual, and he heads to his area to celebrate with the villagers. In the morning, everybody in the house tiptoes around the house, so as not to wake Michael. But he wakes up and catches them red-handed, preparing to attend a fellow villager's wedding. Donald, Michael's right-hand man, tells Michael that Angel Ayurvadam, his longtime lover, doesn't want to see them at the wedding. As soon as he hears this, Michael attends the wedding, with all his friends. Uncle Gopal, Angel's father, is not happy to see Michael at the wedding, so he begs him to leave. But Michael refuses to leave, requesting to eat a little food from the event and leave afterward. The wedding hall is packed with guests, and even the priest is ready to bless the union, but Angel refuses to marry John, her suitor. It is the 7th time her father has arranged a marriage for her, and she keeps on canceling them. She wants Michael to be her groom. On hearing this, the priest calls Uncle Gopal and slaps him, demanding to know who Michael is. But before they could fish him out, Michael slides out of the church hall. Kadir, Michael's brother who is a coach, returns home, and he comes with the Tamil Nadu women's football team. Michael asks Donald to take care of the girls until they return to Delhi for the national team selection match. Just as they take a drive to the location, a gang of armed thugs on motorcycles attack their car. The thugs throw eggs at the windscreen, and this hinders Kadir from driving faster. Before he alights from the car, Michael warns his brother not to step out, under no circumstances. The first victim of Michael's violence receives a hard blow on his neck, which makes him lose control of his motorcycle. And as for the others, Michael handles them with less strength, but he beats them up, so badly that their boss steps in, masked from head to toe. Michael manages to remove the mask off the man's face and recognizes him to be Akka, the leader of a gang he once fought against. Akka is no match for Michael. This means, he receives so much beating that he runs off with his men. But Michael returns to the car to meet Kadir injured, and he knows the boss did this to his brother. Kadir is rushed to the hospital, and thankfully, he survives the knife cut. But the doctor announces something unexpected: Kadir will remain immobile for a year due to a spinal cord injury. Michael is devastated to hear this, yet the girls ask him to leave. They yell at him for letting Kadir get injured due to street grudges. When Kadir regains consciousness, he is only bothered about the match, which will be held in 10 days. Subrahmani, the team's manager, asks Kadir to recover and forget about the match since they won't find a good coach to handle the team. But Kadir knows somebody perfect on the field and everything as well. There is no other person than Michael Bigil, the star player of the Tamil Nadu men's team, who defeats any club without pity, whether home or away. Maybe a flashback will explain this better. Back in the 2012 Abdul Kalam tournament, Michael led his team to defeat 6 other teams and finally, the Punjab club. The match ends with 4 goals from Michael's team and none from the Punjab club. They receive the cup for being the first team to win the tournament effortlessly. This is when he meets Angel Ayurvadam, for the very first time. Just to prove her point against bullying, Angel snatches Michael's precious cup and uses it to beat up the bully. The cup is now dented, but Angel promises to replace the cup the next morning. At this point, Michael is already head over heels for Angel, so he lets her go after seizing her identity card. The entire village is happy to hear that their team won the match. They all gather to see the cup. But Michael covers the dented cup with a cloth to prevent the villagers from seeing it. He brings it home to show his father, Rayapan, who is a strong and renowned street don. Maybe a little sneak peek of who Rayapan is will show you that he is not to be joked with. Well, back to reality. Rayapan is happy to see that his son is different from him, playing football and winning tournaments. He is happy that the boys in Tamil Nadu no longer commit crimes like they used to. Rayapan hopes that Michael will restore the reputation of the area, and if possible, represent India on an international level. The bond between father and son is sealed with an affectionate hug. Early in the morning, Michael rides a bike in the college halls, in search of Angel. When he finds her, he demands his cup, only for Angel to give him a small cup from a dollhouse set. It annoys Michael so much, but Angel promises to replace the cup with something identical to it, in 10 days. Just to spend quality time with Angel, Michael demands her company every day until she fulfills her promise of replacing the cup. The love between them begins, and it blossoms into something Michael never expected. The cops come to look for Rayapan, asking him to come for a meeting at the collector's office as soon as possible. The moment Rayapan asks for time to watch Michael's selection match, the cop becomes angry and forces him to leave the house immediately. Michael hates to see his father harassed by the cops, so he orders the cop to leave their house. However, Rayapan begs Michael not to be a thug like him. While the match is ongoing, the meeting between Rayapan and the cops takes a different turn. The minister and his council found faults in Rayapan's activities in the past weeks, but Rayapan warns them not to intervene in his business. Meanwhile, Michael is taking the lead against the Manipur team. Even Mr. Sharma is amazed and promises him a spot on the Indian national team as the captain. This turns out to be a lie when Kadir returns with news that none of Tamil Nadu's players is on the national team's list. Not even Michael's name. This prompts Rayapan to visit Mr. Sharma, just to persuade him. Mr. Sharma tells Rayapan that his criminal profession made the selection committee put up a list without Michael. But Rayapan begs Mr. Sharma not to use the sins of the father to cast the son. Surprisingly, Rayapan returns with gold news: Michael's name is now on the list. Stay tuned until the end to see how Rayapan achieved this. The local team set off to leave for Delhi in preparation for the cup, including Michael. This is when Rayapan meets Angel, whom he sees fit to be Michael's bride. Despite the excitement in the atmosphere, Rayapan begs Michael not to forget the match, which is the most important thing out of everything. But Michael's career will take a pause now. The film switches to show us the most bloody and painful scene ever: an opponent stabs him from behind. Not just once, or twice or thrice. Uncountable times, the knife stabs his stomach, shoulders, and even his hand. As soon as Michael sees this, he hops off the train to behold his father's last moments. But his emotions take over him, and he attacks his father's murderers. There is nothing he can do, other than take over his father's position as the Don of Tamil Nadu. Let's see if Kadir has more to say. Well, he does, and he tells Subramani that the sponsor of the women's football team is Michael since they could not fulfill their dreams in 2012. Subramani decides to convince Michael to coach the girls, but Michael rejects this position, mentioning his unworthiness to coach the girls. Kadir does not stop until Michael agrees to meet the girls at the train heading for Delhi. The girls are ready to leave the train station, although they are hesitant since there is no sign of their new coach. At the last minute, Michael shows up with his team officials, including Angel, who will be the physiotherapist for the team. At the academy hostel, the girls are not happy to see Michael as their new coach. And their anger heightens the moment a gang of masked men attack the academy. Thankfully, Michael puts up a good fight and chases them away. The National Selection Committee threatens to expel both Michael and the girls. Before Michael could say a word, Mr. Sharma walks in. Exactly, the same Mr. Sharma you know. He orders the committee to acknowledge Michael and forward the case to the police to handle. The first match is finally here. The girls are to play against Manipur, the same team Michael defeated to enter the finals. Michael meets Samar, a former player for Manipur who is now the coach for the team. Samar mocks him for losing out 7 years ago and considers him a criminal too. Michael tries to coordinate the girls, but they refuse to listen to him. It hurts Michael to watch his team lose. This means they will go back to Tamil Nadu if they lose the next match. He sends his resignation letter to Mr. Sharma, just because he doesn't want the girls to hate him more. As he turns to leave, Donald brings in the men who attacked the academy. It turns out that Mr. Sharma sent them. If you're wondering why Mr. Sharma did this, here is why. Mr. Sharma reveals that Rayapan manhandled him roughly when he demanded money for Michael's name to enter the list. Looks like he was waiting for the perfect time to avenge what Rayapan did to him. But Michael is not afraid. Instead, he threatens Mr. Sharma not to act funny during these finals or else he will face the consequences of defying Rayapan's offspring. More determined than ever, Michael meets with the girls and begins training them after showing them the value of teamwork. This means they have to listen to him or risk losing the cup. Michael takes no chances, so he travels to Chennai with Angel, and his first stop is at Gayatri's house. Gayatri used to be a player for the national team, but ever since her marriage to her husband, Sudarshan, she stopped playing football because her husband is against it. Angel intervenes and convinces Sudarshan to allow his wife to play in the national championship. Gayatri is fully prepared for the match, well prepared that she leaves for Delhi in the company of her husband. The next stop is at Anita's house. Anita used to be a player for the national team until she got disfigured by her boyfriend. Michael offers to speak with her, and the outcome of this short conversation is one to never forget. Anita accepts to join the team again. However, Michael decides to punish the boyfriend for his actions. But Anita wants none of that. Instead, she wants him to watch her play like the star she is. The D-Day is almost here. Just as the girls get ready to defeat their opponents, the cops drag Michael to the station. They claim he is a street don, but this is the handwork of Mr. Sharma, who doesn't want Michael to witness the victory. However, Michael finds a way to gain authority in the station, to the extent that they allow him to go. This does not stop Mr. Sharma from planning injuries for Tamil Nadu players. The referee gives a yellow card to almost all the players. The moment Michael returns, everything changes for good. He puts in Gayatri and Anita, and the team equalizes against the Haryana club, quite unexpected. This win is for everybody in Tamil Nadu, with so much happiness that it leads to a peaceful wedding between Michael and Angel. But this happiness is only for a while. While the girls prepare for the finals, Vembu and Tendral suddenly go missing. Michael and his men search for the girls everywhere, but they seem nowhere to be found. Suddenly, a car drives in and dumps Vembu in the hospital. When they take her to the hospital, the doctor tells them that hard drugs were forced into Vembu's system. Now, this means she won't participate in the finals. Luckily, Michael finds out the location and shows up to rescue his player, only to meet Akka, who injects him with hard drugs. Instead of making him weak, the drugs make Michael more energized to fight Akka and his men. On seeing how strong Michael is, Akka runs to his son's room to hide from him. Ready to fight and kill the enemy, Michael barges into the little boy's room and meets him frightened. Filled with pity, he forgives Akka and warns him to stay away from trouble. The D-Day is finally here. The first half of the game shows how slackened Tamil Nadu players are, not until Michael shakes them up with painful reminders of their past. This alone brings them alive in the second half, and they equalize Manipur to the extent that the game ends with a penalty shootout. When Manipur loses their fourth penalty, Gayatri brings victory for Tamil Nadu with her successful kick. At last, victory. The girls are happy but not happier than Michael and Kadir, who are also present at the match. Mr. Sharma gets disappointed when he hears of Michael's win, more reason why he decides to move to another country. He calls Michael on the phone to threaten him about losing the cup since he is still in charge of the dope test for players. Wrong message, maybe? This time, Mr. Sharma gets caught at the airport for possessing hard drugs in his luggage. And as for the hood, Akka and Michael reconcile, meaning you won't witness fights on the streets of Tamil Nadu again.